welcome in my guest here. I've got Brooke. She is a regular here in the chat, so y'all know her and love her from that. And I'm just going to throw it over to her. She can explain who she is, and we'll get started. So, how's your week been so far, Brooke? Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been doing great.
Doing great. Yeah, me.
I've
Been a little bit of a
I've been watching a little bit of the Game Fest, Summer Game Fest
yeah. I actually
today.
haven't caught any of that so far yet. So you're gonna kind of be my news feed on that. So that's pretty exciting. What do we think so far? From a scale of 1 to 10, what would we give it?
I didn't see much anything interesting.
Well, what a shock. Geoff Keighley's show disappoints yet again. To be fair though, he did tell us that it was going to be a little bit of a light year, which I think we could have probably figured given that last year they kind of blew their wad, and then this year has been really slow so far, especially as you know the market tends to tighten around the world. You'll start to see that in all the layoffs, and I kind of told everybody that too. I said, more layoffs means less video games. Just remember that. So there means less people to produce video games, less people to make the video games we like. So, not to mention it's the last year of the Switch, so the Switch is getting ready to kind of be out on its ass in favor.
Real excited for the Direct. I've always been a big Nintendo fan.
Me too. Me too. Well, sort of. I have a love-hate relationship with Nintendo, but it far more is love than hate. Especially lately, because like God, the Nintendo Switch is just where it's at, man. Holy sh!
Is it okay if I tell you a little bit about my gaming history?
You absolutely can.
All right then. I had a cousin. He's been gone for probably 20 years back in May. He's the one that got me into gaming.
Okay.
He used to have this old NES,
Oh, good
the
start.
console, and my favorite game to play on the console was Super Mario 3. So I got my gaming from him.
Oh,
And so my first console that I ever got was a PlayStation, about when I was 9 or 10 years old.
okay. Well,
And from then on, I've had the PlayStation 3 and now the PS5. I
got
didn't have the PS2 or the PS4,
so you
but
you know
most of my consoles are Nintendo.
yeah, you don't know how refreshing it is to hear someone else say that. Like, I thought I was like an alien as far as like not having a DVD player because I never owned the DVD player, not directly. So I thought I was kind of an alien in terms of that. So thank you for making me feel normal. Because that it's okay to not have a.
I've still got no Blu-ray player.
Well, yeah, because didn't the PS3 come with a Blu-ray? Wasn't it like kind of the same thing they tried, where they tried to pack in a cheap Blu-ray player with the PlayStation 3?
As far as I remember.
Yeah, yeah, I thought so. And then I think the PS4 also has the Blu-ray. So, yeah, that's kind of and that was a lot of the early success of the PlayStation 2. But and after that, I mean, after Grand Theft Auto showed up, it really started to get some games coming out. So, now you said one of your first games was Super Mario Brothers 3. You have excellent taste. I will tell you that, and that's probably a hard that probably sets some pretty high expectations for video games in your head to literally start with what is still to me one of the greatest games ever made. They still haven't topped Mario 3 in terms of a platformer. Like the closest I could feel like it
No.
comes is maybe Celeste in terms of mechanics, and but in terms of world, still not even like.
My favorite about the game is the Tanuki, where Mario flies with the Tanuki tail. I've always loved that part.
Well, and if you think about it, every Mario game that came is kind of an expansion of the games that came before. So if you start, and people forget about this, like when Mario Brothers first came out, Super Mario Brothers was an enormous game. I mean, an enormous game. Like, think about it. Like, you have the blue sky, and that was huge, by the way, because most games prior to that were just black backgrounds. So it had the blue sky to kind of give you the with the clouds with the eyes, and this it really felt like a world. There were four worlds each, um, four stages each, 8 worlds. You had the secondary quest where they replaced them with like the Buzzy Beetles and shit. It was a big game, And then you get Mario 2, and what does Mario Brothers 2 do? It starts to show you picking up and throwing things. It becomes a more of an exploratory factor. The worlds are larger. They're vertical now. You go up and down. So it added the up and down element. Then take Mario 3. Overworld adds an overworld map, adds flying, and adds multiple power-up suits. Mario World makes that whole world one continuous thing. So now instead of 8 smaller worlds, now the worlds are all interconnected. So it just seems to me like the Super Mario Brothers games, even into the 3D games, which I don't like as well, all kind of one expanded the Mushroom Kingdom and two expanded video games as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were kind of a vanguard for that, I feel like. Mario and Zelda, that's why those are the two franchises I harp on the most. And then, of course, a smaller emphasis on Metroid. But so aside from Mario, what are some of your other earliest gaming experiences? So we started with Mario Brothers 3, which again was just an incredible way to start gaming. Where did you go from there?
Spyro.
Spyro.
That was Spyro and Frogger on the regular PlayStation.
Yeah, Spyro was always kind of an interesting one. I never actually got to play that until very recently. They're good games, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised because that was a dual effort from Toys for Bob, which makes one of my favorite games of all time, Star Control 2, back in 1992. And then also that was where Naughty Dog got their start. My understanding is that in Crash Bandicoot, or no, it was no, that was just Toys for Bob because Crash Bandicoot was Naughty Dog. So never mind, getting my wires crossed here a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm hell on wheels when it comes to Nintendo games, but Rush Dog and others can tell you sometimes I fuck up on the PlayStation side.
Did you ever play Frogger? The
Um,
one where the little frog crosses the
yeah, yeah,
little road.
yeah. My dad really enjoys Frogger. That was one of his favorites. Is Frogger, Space Invaders, Pac-Man. And so I got to play a little bit of those, but um, my main arcade experience in terms of arcade games actually comes from the 90s. We had a pretty poppin' ass arcade scene. One of the things that we did was we would get Street Fighter 2 was one of the main cabinets, and of course Mortal Kombat are kind of the two main cabinets that everybody played and gathered around. We had a arcade in Springfield called Aladdin's Castle, and I spent a lot of time at Aladdin's Castle. That was a lot of fucking fun, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, so let's see. Let's take a quick peek here, and well, let's see what old Jeffrey has going on. So, Summer Games Fest recap. Yeah, we can discuss a little bit of that. So everything announced at Summer's Game Fest. So let's see what we've got here. So, all right. So Lego Horizon Adventures, which, oh, Civilization 7 is coming. Okay. All right. So for the PC crowd, that's exciting. Um, Blumhouse is becoming a game publisher. I don't know if that's going to be good or not. Alan Wake 2 DLC is out. You know, the only problem is I wish Alan Wake 2 was a real game. I keep hearing about this game called Alan Wake 2, and I don't know. I people seem to be suffering from a mass hallucination that Alan Wake got a sequel, but I guess if theoretically, if Alan Wake 2 existed, the downloadable content would be good. But did you ever play Civilization, Brooke? You ever played any of that?
No,
Okay.
I
Um,
never have. I've heard of it but never played it.
yeah, Civilization is it's kind of a strategy game, real time strategy type game where you kind of build your civ. There's one called Stellaris. It's like a galactic version of that I played that I really like. I played the shit out of Civilization 4, I think it was back in the day. But yeah, it's good stuff if you like real time strategy. Are you into like the strategy style games, or is that not your cup?
I like puzzles and solving mysteries and things like that. Those are what I really use my brain
Okay,
on.
gotcha. I was gonna say if you like puzzle games, there's a couple of really good ones on Switch. Same with like your mystery style games, like visual novel types. Have you played? Have you had an opportunity to play Danganronpa?
No, but I've heard of it.
Really fun, and you can get them all physically in one collection. It's the Danganronpa. It's called the. I just had it on the tip of my tongue, but yeah, you can find. Just type in Danganronpa on Amazon, and it's still available physically for a pretty good price. It's got all three of the Danganronpa games, the 1, 2, and 3, all the main ones, and then it's got some weird board game shit too that isn't as good. But yeah, I think you'd like that because the whole thing is like you're solving different murder mysteries. That's kind of cool. All right, let's take a look at the super chat real quick. So we got super chat going on. So Super Mario Brothers 3 was great. Yep. Tell us something we don't know, but Keithy is strong on First Blood. Absolutely one of the greatest games of all time. And says the frog suit was my favorite. Yeah, I'll never forget unlocking the frog suit for the first time I was at my cousin's house. I was like, what the fuck is this, man? It's like that's cool as hell. Or when you get like the Hammer Brothers suit, which lets you throw the hammers, which I think maybe you can unlock there's like 3 places in the game you can actually get that suit. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty groovy, I thought. What was your favorite suit? You said Tanuki, but do you have any others that you like, Britt?
Probably in the most recent game, like Wonder,
Uh-huh.
the elephant.
Yeah, elephant was pretty interesting. And did you know that Miyamoto didn't like the elephant at first? He tried to get him to drop it.
So those are probably my only 2 good favorites I've got.
Yeah, I'm glad they kept that, honestly. What did you think of Wonder overall? Like compared to like a Mario 3, where do you fall on
Well, I really can't give you a specific answer because I'm not real sure about where I
that?
fall on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you. I like Wonder, and I wanna really like Wonder, but I just think it needs a little bit more teeth in the difficulty department. Now I know in before OJ comes in and says, "Well, have you played the special level Zoo?" Yeah, I have, but I shouldn't have to wait till the end of the fucking game for the game to get some teeth to it, man. So that's kind of my only real complaint with Wonder. I love the Flower Kingdom. I love the design. I love the Flower Kingdom. I love the bubble suit and the elephant suit. I love a lot of the power ups are really fucking cool. The drill. Um, I like the new enemies. I just wish it had a little bit more teeth and was a little harder, man.
Mostly what I play on right now is my Switch because they've got more meaty games than the PlayStation does right now.
I mean, they got more games. Period. I don't know. Sony seems like they're in a little bit of a production jam, man. Like they cancel, they send Japan studio packing, and now every time we get anything out of Sony, it just seems like they lead with live service trash, and all their games are coming to PC, so there's no real differentiating factor that makes me want to buy their box. I don't know. I feel like Sony is really lost in the woods right now, personally. I have no
especially
desire.
with especially with physical games, of which I love so much.
You're a physical person too. See, same here. That's all I do. Like again, and he alludes that in the comments. So Keithia says Alan Wake 2 getting a physical. So that's good that it exists now. So that's very good. Hopefully they put the DLC on there so it can exist too, is what I would say. Now, Chill Collect
Yeah,
says, "Yo, what up, guys? How's it going, Chill? Thanks for coming in." And yeah, I've always been a physical collection person, and I try to explain to people like this. For me, it's a matter of ownership. I like to own my own games, and people can say all they want that hey, Steam is backed by a guarantee, and they'll never go offline. The servers will always be there. My only thing is you can't fucking know that for sure. Like you can't. So I know for a fact the only way. Also noticed that like I know there was some controversy with Stellar Blade in terms of censorship and things of that nature. And I'm less interested in that and more interested in the fact that they can do that. So they can go in, change your game, take things away, add things to the game. So the only way they're going to change or update or prevent me from playing my fucking games is if they bust my door down and come get them. And nobody's going to fucking do that for video games. So I just feel
no,
like with physical ownership, that's kind of the way to go with that, you know.
yeah,
So
that's kind of why I like physical because you can actually feel it and touch it and everything.
yeah, it's there. And then of course you saw where Rowan, you got people that are making awesome ass shit, like making the manuals and other stuff for the games, which even gives them that old school feel again. So yeah, I got a few manuals coming from him. I think the newest one is the Super Princess Peach manual that's coming. And what's his newest one? I forgot. Oh yeah, Scarlet Violet, which I got to get ordered. But did you play Super Princess Peach yet?
No, I've not ordered any. I've not had a chance to even look through the manual thing on his site yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. I keep meaning to play Super Princess Peach. Party Man over on OJ's channel, Player Essence, he's one of the cats that hangs out over there. And he's always like, "Hey, did you play Super Princess Peach?" It's like I'm going to right now. I'm playing Thousand Year Door, and but I do plan on playing some Princess Peach. I want to get to it because I'm actually really excited that Peach finally got a gameplay identity. But I know you've been playing a Thousand Door too, by the way. How we liking that?
It's good. I used to have the original on the GameCube.
Oh,
I
so you had it
I
when the
got rid of the
GameCube was.
game, but I still have the box.
Well, that's pretty cool. How is it in comparison to the GameCube? A lot of people are saying it's like a Metroid Prime level of remake to where it looks really good, like they really put some effort into it. But can you really differentiate it, or does it just kind of feel the same to you?
The difference is kind of the graffiti when you enter the town where Mario first lands.
Okay, so you kind of change all
The
that.
graffiti is a little different, and a
Okay,
bunch of the character things is a little different. I
Great.
think I like the GameCube version a lot more.
GameCube version is better, yeah. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see like a comparison, direct comparisons between the I know Digital Foundry does those sometimes, where they'll take the game from like the remake versus the standard versus the original, and they'll show you exactly what the differences are and just how big of a difference or small of a difference it is. So yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see what Digital Foundry has to say about it outside of the technical analysis. But yeah, I'm enjoying my time with the Thousand Year Door. I really like the RPG mechanics making a comeback. Like I know Origami Kings, it's okay, but I think I think the customers seem to have chosen that they like Paper Mario to have that Mario RPG gameplay identity versus whatever the fuck the uh, the paint splatter game or the origami game. I just feel like people really want that. It certainly seemed to vocalize it. Now we'll just have to see if they buy it and the sales say the same thing, right?
Let's see here. It's probably been 3 years ago. My grandmother died, and I inherited a GameCube
Okay.
when she died. So
So your
that's
grandmother
where I got my GameCube from.
so your grandmother had the GameCube.
Yeah, she was one of those people back like in the 30s that would hoard stuff, and she just happened to have it in a back room.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, it sounds like you had a lot of people in your family that gamed, which is cool. That's very cool to see.
Yeah.
In my family, it was really so. My cousin was a gamer. My cousin Jake loved to play video games, and then my dad also was like huge into video games, and so that's kind of where I got it. I'd go to my cousins and I'd play like so. For example, we both had Sega Genesises, but he had different Genesis games than I had, and then my grandmother just for the kids and me and my cousins, they had a Sega Genesis, not that they played. And so then we would go over there and we would play games like Cheeky Cheeky Boys, or we would get to play Streets of Rage 2 at Grandma's house, which is just fucking surreal to think about. Or I'd go over to Jake's and we would play games like Comic Zone, Vector Man. And I tell you, I really miss that old school approach where you would just you just go to each other's houses and kind of take a tour of the different games available. You know, not everybody could afford all the games, so you all had different games and then swapped them out, borrowed them, went over to each other's houses to play. Did you have any experiences like that or anything like of that nature?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so you just kind of played games as you could as you got access to them. Then basically,
Yeah, as I
gotcha,
got them or whatever.
gotcha. What's your favorite system? Would you say of all the systems you've played?
Um, I'd probably say the GameCube.
GameCube. Okay, so you're one of these GameCube people. Okay, so give me a quick uh 1 minute rundown on why I should like the GameCube. I always like to do this with all the GameCube stands because there's a lot of them.
Um, I know there's a lot of bad talk been told about the GameCube over
Okay.
the years.
Uh,
Yes,
yes, there is.
but the library. I mean, the library is a good, got a good bunch of games on it.
Okay, and
That's mainly why I love it, because of its games.
what are these good games? So let me try to name them. So we got Window Washer Mario. We've got weird Star Race Kirby game. We've got weird Puzzle Star Fox. Let's see here. We've got that weird, boring sailing Zelda game, right? Trying to think. I'm kind of being an asshole here, but I have to. At this point, it's a joke with the chat. But so what are some of the GameCube games you like? This amazing library that I hear so much about. Outside, now to be fair, guys, outside of Metroid Prime and Paper Mario, because those are really, really good. I've played them; they're good. Okay, I'm starting to see ground with the GameCube. But what are some of your favorite games for the GameCube outside of my Snark?
Wind Waker.
Okay, so
the original Wind Waker.
So you like Wind Waker? Okay. So you like Zelda? Okay. So I guess I could start with what I like about the GameCube Zelda game. I love Ganon in that fucking game. Ganon seems. I love how in that game he's kind of a tired old man who's just ready for it to be over. Like at that point, you have to imagine that if we understand that it's the same Ganon across time, and at this point he's got to be fucking haunted by that green tunic. He's just like, oh my god, here we go again, because I'm sure he remembers every time he's been defeated by the hero of time or whatever iteration of Link there is. So I love that they actually take that and make that part of the overall story. Um, I love the flooding of Hyrule. I thought that was a really cool concept. And I think the game actually has a pretty decent battle system that it does nothing with. But it's there if the developers cared to actually give you something to put your sword into. But I guess
Cartoon Link. I love Cartoon Link. I love the way they did him.
I like Toon Link. I think Toon Link gets a bad rap. I think that everybody who cries about Toon Link, I think they're misremembering. I know that people cried about it back then, but I never really understood it even back then. I'm like, this is what you're fucking crying about, not the boring ass sailing or the fact that there's no fucking rewards or anything. When you go to an island, you get like a goddamn ruby or some shit. You're not going to complain about that ridiculous fucking Triforce quest at the end. Really, you're mad at the cell shaded the Toon Link? I thought that was one of the coolest parts of it. I thought, and by the way, it's timeless. It still looks fucking good because they chose that art style.
I wish they would port it to the Switch.
I think they will. I keep hearing. I mean, it's kind of dangerous to predict that now because we've been predicting it for seems like half the Switch's lifespan. We've been saying, okay, it's coming, but I really do think we're going to get Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. I don't see why they wouldn't. It seems like an easy win for them. Like you figure,
I haven't played Twilight Princess, but I've played Wind Waker.
Yeah, Twilight Princess. If you can get through the tutorial, there's some stuff to enjoy there. But I could never play that fucking tutorial a second time. I just couldn't. It takes like 2 hours to get into the game proper. The tutorial is real bad. It's horrible. Wind Waker, it's a little bit zippier to get into, so that'd be the one I'd be the most interested in retrying. Now here's my prediction though. I don't think you're going to get a 2-pack. Everybody likes to say that, hey, we're going to get a 2-pack on that, and that we're going to get both games on one cartridge. No fucking way. Nintendo understands the value of Zelda. They're going to sell you 2 of those games. If we're lucky, they'll be 50. They're probably going to be $60 a pop. But what do you think?
I don't care how I get it, as long as I get it,
Yeah. And again, in a way, I'd rather have that than the double pack, just because each will have its own individual box. It's all prettied up and shit. Like, I like that just for the collector's aspect. But yeah, there's everybody who's saying that we're going to get a Zelda double pack of those two games. You're out of your fucking minds, man. No, that's going to be
I
100.
have it on. I also have it on Wii U too. I have Twilight Princess on Wii U as well.
Yeah, I would encourage you to give it a spin. I would be curious to see what you think of the tutorial section. Like, I just know for a fact I could never get through that tutorial again. So, there's
I'll
no.
try it next time and
Yeah,
tell you about it next time.
absolutely, absolutely. And so Keithia says, I think the DLC is coming tomorrow for Alan Wake too. Yeah, so probably, and again, if the physical's announced, there's a good chance they wait for the physical to get it all on disc, which is good. That's really good for collectors. Show Collect says, "Uh-oh, here we go with the GameCube." LOL. You know it, man. You know it. GameCube can't come up without me at least talking some smack. But and then Keithia says a cell shaded Zelda. Yeah. I never understood the hullabaloo and all the hand wringing about the cell shaded style. I thought it looked good. Like, I get that people felt like they were bait and switch, but it looked good, man. It looked good, and it still looks good. In fact, it looks better than if they would have tried to go like the typical dark fantasy type deal. I think so. What do you think?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't really know what people are thinking as of right now, but maybe.
yeah. I think time has converted more than reason on that. Nowadays, you hear a lot of people holding up Wind Waker, even for shit it doesn't deserve to be held up for. Like, oh, this is one of the best Zelda games. I don't know. Oh, Zelda 2 Adventure of Link says hi. Did you ever play that one?
Oh, I don't remember playing it if I did.
Yeah, unapologetically one of the best Zelda games. It's so good. But I don't know. I'm also like A Link to the Past a lot. So yeah, and OG Zelda. You gotta give it to OG Zelda. And then Breath of the Wild was just marvelous.
Yes.
Yeah, Breath of the
Tears
Wild.
of the Kingdom was also Tears of the Kingdom was good too.
See, I keep hearing that. I got to try to get back into it. I don't think it's a bad game. I just don't think it's meshing with me. I don't think it's the right time for me to play it. And I don't know. Maybe you can help me. So I get through the tutorial okay, and I actually like that tutorial area. It's pretty interesting. And then I get to the surface, and I get to Hyrule Castle Town, and I get bombarded with like 60 fucking things to do, and like, I don't know, maybe it's my ADHD, but I just feel like I'm pulled in 60 different directions. I don't know what to fucking do. I keep trying to go underground and getting one shotted. Um, I hate having to fuse all these pieces of shit together. I just want to pick up a goddamn sword and stick it in an enemy, and I just can't seem to get anywhere. Again, that's not necessarily the game's fault. That might be something to do with my mindset, but I don't know. I need to really sit down and just clear like a few days and just play the shit out of it, I think.
It's been a while since I played it, so I couldn't tell you.
Now, of the two, which do you prefer? Do you prefer Breath of the Wild or do you prefer Tears of the Kingdom?
I prefer the latter.
Ladder? Okay. That's what OJ says too. OJ's like, Zoo, when you get into it and it finally clicks with you, like, it literally makes Breath of the Wild look like a glorified take demo, is what he always says.
Yeah, I didn't play much of Breath of the Wild. I played mainly more Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, so you didn't actually play much of Breath of the Wild. Okay. So did you ever beat Breath of the Wild?
No,
Not yet. Have you beat
I
Tears of the
still
Kingdom?
have it. I get to the middle of it or whatever, and I just go. It's like I go, I can't.
See, that's interesting. So basically, you kind of have the same problem with Breath that I have with Tears, which is interesting. Which is, you start playing it and then you just sort of fall off. You can't get back on.
Yeah,
Got it. Yeah. Nope. I totally get that. Totally understand that. Yeah, it happened. That happens a lot to me too. Oh yeah. Before Rush Dog forgets, so tonight I am actually drinking and eating. I'm drinking light and I'm eating heavy. So today I am just drinking some sangria, and I'm washing that sangria down with some good old fashioned Chicago hot dogs. Um, Chicago style hot dogs, drug through the fucking garden for the win. What you eating and what you drinking, Britt?
I'm drinking water and I'm having some chicken wings.
Chicken wing. Gosh, chicken wings sound always good. We got kind of a chicken wing shortage around here. Last time I tried to order chicken wings from DoorDash, they told me they didn't have any. So that sounds really good. I was actually craving chicken wings a few days ago and was told that we can't get them. So it's like, man, it's like, ugh. So I'm gonna have to try that again. What'd you toss them with? Or are they naked?
They're just naked. My mother made them.
Oh, homemade. So that might
And they,
explain why you're able to get them because I know that maybe it's because of this bird flu going around, but there's just not a lot of chicken wings apparently in the restaurants.
yeah, they were just thrown in the air fryer and just served.
Dude, isn't an air fryer the most marvelous miracle device known to man? I'm sorry. I fucking love my air fryer.
Yeah, it's like a miracle. It's like you don't
Oh
have to use the stove anymore.
man, yeah. What the I don't know what's going on with the stove. I don't even know the last time I turned the stove on. Air fryer takes care of all that shit. Got that nice air fryer. Heats up pizza like brand new. Um, yeah,
You can
it's
just pop anything into it, really.
oh literally, yeah, it's marvelous. Like it's kind of replaced the oven, the convection oven, the toaster to some extent.
I still use my microwave.
Yeah. Chef Michael never go out of fashion just because it does that. It does not necessarily. So the air fryer is more like a dry heat, and I'm not going to say the microwave is wet heat, but the microwave doesn't crisp things. It just heats. So it has for like soups, canned soups, and things of that nature. Microwave's great for
Yeah.
heating that up. You wouldn't want to put that in an air fryer necessarily.
So
Whereas,
I usually put I love beef and bean burritos, so I put my beef and bean burritos in the microwave.
yeah, burritos are hard
They're
to make.
just they are already cooked and everything, so I just have to throw them in the microwave.
Yeah, it's hard to beat a good burrito. I'm fucking Ron Burgundy up. I'll be driving my car, fucking just eat the shit out of a burrito. I don't throw it in a biker's face though. That's not cool. But in general, do you do much cooking? Or are you much of a chef?
Not really.
Oh, I cook the shit out of everything. I just my last cooking adventure actually was making a Penang curry, which is like a Thailand. It's a Thailand style curry. I think it's kind of Americanized, but very good. A little bit of coconut milk, a little bit of red curry powder, or sorry, red curry paste, not powder, paste. A little bit of salt, pepper, a little bit of lime, and a little bit of Thai basil, and it turned out fucking fire. It was really good.
I have to also be careful. I have a lot of food allergies too
Mm.
when I eat.
Got to be careful of that. Like when I make my jambalaya, when I take it to the house, I there's no seafood because my sister has a shellfish allergy, so we can't put shrimp in it. Can't put any of that kind of shit. Crab because literally, like, she'll break out into fucking hives. Like I'll cause a fucking incident.
Yeah.
So no, totally understand that. What kind of allergies you have?
Oh gosh. I have allergy to milk, eggs, cheese, peanuts, shellfish,
Yeah,
and
shellfish is a
and
rough.
fish in general.
Yeah, so you got to be
I mean,
real.
I've had
You got to be really careful then. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, especially when I carry an EpiPen around.
And you got the EpiPen, which that's good because yeah, those will save your fucking life. Um, shouldn't be as expensive as they are. My sister has one too for her kind of allergy stuff too. They're they're
Yeah, I've
they're
not had to,
really fucking expensive. I don't know what the fuck the deal with that is.
but thank goodness I've not had to use mine in forever.
Right. It's one of those emergency type deals. But no, I'm glad you have access to that though, man. Because yeah, that's
I
some
also
scary
have
stuff.
access to Benadryl too. I take Benadryl a lot of times too when I have no reaction.
Does Benadryl help with those kind of reactions?
Yes, it
Okay.
mainly puts me to sleep and wears me out though.
Yeah, Benadryl. Yeah, that's very true. No, very true. Like anytime I have like I guess sinus infection will put me on like the coffee medicine for Benadryl, which that's why I got a lingering cough from my last one. But I try not to drink it unless it's time. It's sleepy time, because if not, it will be sleepy time for sure, 100% of the time. All right.
Um,
So where were we? Let's see here. Oh, we were looking at yeah. So there's a game called Valorant coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X. I feel like that sounds familiar. Monster Hunter Wilds, which was already announced. No More Room in Hell 2, Harry Potter, A Quidditch Champions, Cuff Bus, Star Wars Outlaws, which I don't know that. I heard there's an online only element to that, so that can fuck off. See, Neva, Black Myth, Asgard's Wrath, Once Human, Warhammer Space Marine 2, Metaphor. All these are games we already fucking know about. Dragon Ball Sparky, Delta Force Hawk, Fatal Fury, Battle Crush, Mecha Break, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Slitterhead. All these are announced. Killer Bean. Oh my God, you weren't fucking kidding.
yeah, I've only watched 2 events today, and yeah,
That's fucking terrible. Well, in Nintendo we trust.
yeah.
Looks like Nintendo is kind
I
of our
think I
last
think
hope for
most
the
of
year.
those games. I think most of those games are PlayStation games too.
Yeah, well, and again, Nintendo doesn't show it other people's stuff, so I didn't figure there'd be much from Nintendo there. Like they're waiting, they're gonna wait this week, and I'm guessing either next week or the week after we're gonna have the Nintendo Direct, probably Thursday.
Yeah, who knows when?
Probably on a Thursday, and that'll probably be the last gasps for Switch. Was there any third party games? Because one of the things the Switch has done really well is they have been curate. Not only have they been putting out banger first party titles, but I feel like the Switch has done a great job of curating games from across eras. So keep in mind, to kind of give you a little bit of my gaming history, I was a NES, SNES gamer, played a little bit with the N64, but not much. Set the next era out, got the Wii, then set the next era out and didn't come back till the Switch. So a lot of the games, like people, a lot of these ports like Borderlands or ports like Alien Isolation, these are brand new games to me. Is there any third party games that you feel like are still missing from the Nintendo Switch, or do you feel like they've gotten everything that they need at this point from third parties?
I've been waiting for Epic Mickey Rebrushed. I'm hoping there will be some kind of announcement for it. It's supposed to
Um,
be a third party game.
so yeah, Epic Mickey, that was one that I wanted to play for the Wii when I had my Wii. Never got an opportunity. Did you ever play that back in the day?
No,
Yeah, see, I'm in the same boat, and I'm very excited. It looks really good. Like Brooke, it looks
I had
really
I
good.
have the second game, but I never played the first one.
Yeah, I never played the second either, but the first game looks really good. I love the side-scrolling elements, like the black and white elements of it. But yeah, I second Epic Mickey. I'm gonna check that out when it comes out. Like OJ also, I think, was talking about like this one of his more anticipated of the third party ports. Now, in terms of games that are not announced, I'm just going to throw out some wish listing. Dishonored. I want Dishonored. I want to play that. I would like to play Grand Theft Auto 5 or 4, either one. Just give me one of them. I don't think that's actually going to happen. I think they're making plenty of money with Grand Theft Auto Online. I think their focus is on GTA Online. So I don't really think that there is a financial incentive beyond they would sell. They would absolutely sell Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Switch. But I feel like they probably did the calculus and just decided it wasn't worth it. And so I don't think we're going to get it, but it would be nice. I would like to have it just to have it on the go. And I think that game companies a lot of times forget that proposition, that gaming on the go proposition. That's a big part of why people buy Switch games, is to have them on the go in a nice portable format like that on a cartridge, right?
Yes, that's one of the reasons I like having my Switch on the go.
100%.
I take it with me about everywhere I go.
Me too. Me too. Mass Effect. I would love to see Mass Effect. All three of them come to Switch, no matter how they have to do them. Um, you don't have to jam them all. And please, third parties, please understand, you don't have to jam every fucking game on the cart. You could sell Mass Effect 1 for like $30 or $20, Mass Effect 2 for 20 or $30, and you can sell Mass Effect 3 for like 30 or 40. You can put them on different carts. Just please bring them over. I know that's EA and they fucking hate Nintendo, so probably not going to get shit from them. But I'd like to see Mass Effect. I think those games would be pretty groovy on the Switch. I think they'd be bangarang. Oh gosh, what else do we have? Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Ah, how is that not on Switch yet, Brooke?
I have no idea.
That is
I,
that's been
I
that's
wish they bring Chrono Trigger over.
me. There's another one that's like, where is this game? Where is it? Because and I'll tell you, I'm not going to complain. I never thought I would get SMT3 Nocturne. I never thought I'd get Shin Megami Tensei 3, which is one of my favorite JRPGs. Never thought I would get Dragon Quest 3, and we're gonna get a really nice remake of that. But yeah, we need Chrono Trigger. Like, please, Nintendo, if you hear nothing else we say, we need Chrono Trigger. We absolutely need that fucking game. Need it.
Definitely.
It is one of the greatest games of all time. Although, as a consolation prize, I would also take Terra Enigma. I think Terra Enigma is very cool. Um, So Chill Collect says, once I get home, I should be having some pizza and a cold Modelo. Pizza and beer.
Hold on.
Oh, yep.
Yes. No, I'm full. Yeah, I can eat. These are enough. So sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just saying that pizza and beer is like one of the all-time great Friday night foods. Like, it's just one of the all-time great combos to me. Is pizza and beer. You get a nice cold brewski, get a good pizza, get some good fucking video games in. What you been playing lately? I've been playing Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4. Although I keep getting copyright struck because they're cunts.
I've been playing something called Dreamlight Valley. It's a Disney game on my Switch.
Yeah, Dreamlight Valley. Isn't that the one that it's kind of like Stardew Valley, except it's with Disney?
Yeah, kind of. I
Okay.
love my favorite Disney character's always been Stitch.
Oh, from Lilo and Stitch. That's my sister's too. Yeah, my sister was a huge Lilo and Stitch fan.
So
I've
was
got
I when I was a kid.
I've got to ask. I've got to ask because I swear to God, this is proof of the Berenstain versus Berenstein universe. Do you remember that? Did you now where you live? Do you have a popsicle known as bomb pops?
Oh my god, I remember those, but
And do
I
you
think
remember?
they've gone extinct.
Right, but do you remember the Lilo and Stitch bomb pops?
I doubt it. I don't think I ever saw one.
Oh, it was like a tropical version of the bomb pop, but it was Lilo and Stitch. And it was instead of red,
I,
white, and blue, it was like purple, light blue, and white.
I think I used to see SpongeBob and a bunch of others, but I never saw Lilo and
See, so
Stitch.
are you familiar with the Berenstein theory of multiple realities?
Yes, I've heard of it.
Okay, so yeah, the theory basically is that I could like when I grew up, it was the Berenstein Bears. That's what they were called. That's how they were marketed. Mandela effect. Yes, Mandela effect. Show Collect says exactly. So, um, basically, yeah, it's like, but nowadays, like, it's like, oh, Berenstain Bears, and I'm like, and like people have written to the Berenstain Company and said, well, yeah, but these were the Berenstain, right? And they're like, no, it's Berenstain. It's always been Berenstain, and it's led
I
people to
remember as a kid. I
Berenstain,
remember as
right?
a kid. Yeah, I remember as a kid, I used to sing along to the theme intro song. I watched the show and read the books years ago.
And it was the Berenstein Bears. The Berenstein
Yeah,
Bear. Yeah. Well, no, no. Apparently, we're all fucking stupid and we're all wrong, and it's the Berenstain Bears. We've been fucking wrong the whole time. And so a lot of people have responded to this by saying, "No, you're wrong. We fell asleep in our wonderful Berenstein universe, and we shifted over to the shitty fucking Berenstain universe. And now I'm fucking stuck here with you people." Like that's kind of the joke. But I'm only half joking. Like the Fruit Lop and Fruit Loops one. Yeah, there's all kinds of them, like the different universes and stuff. So there's a universe where it's Fruit Lop instead of Fruit Loops. But
I used to eat Fruit Loops for breakfast as a breakfast cereal a long time ago when
oh,
I was a
Fruit Loops is
kid.
good.
I
Fruit Loops,
remember,
yeah, that's good shit.
I, I remember, I remember a lot of this stuff, but I never really paid attention to the spelling and stuff.
No, me neither. Because I mean, you don't think you need to, right? All you know is that the
Yeah,
fruit.
as a kid,
Yeah, it's fruit.
as a kid, you don't think so.
Well, yeah, yeah. Why would you think that's important? Like, it's like give me my Fruit Loops and my type 2 diabetes that they're gonna give me, and that's all we need. That's all we fucking need to think about. But yeah, it's very. So I often joke that there is a bear in the Berenstein universe. Gaming is still great, and it's all physical, and we always got 2D Mario the entire time. And somewhere in the Berenstein universe, there's a 6 foot tall Todd Howard showing off a Fallout 76 that is good and runs at 60 frames per second. Like somewhere out there, that 6 foot tall Todd Howard is just mopping up like a Morrowind sequel and shit. And like somewhere out there, but
Yeah,
not in this fucking universe. No,
yeah.
we get horse armor and microtransactions and shitty ass live service games and Summer Games Fest where the top fucking draw is Civilization 7. Like, what the fuck? What
I
do you?
the I got the first back when I was a kid. My dad had bought me the first version of the Game Boy Advance, the first version,
Okay.
not the SP version, the first version of it in periwinkle pink.
Oh, okay. Because
You
yeah,
remember?
the first one I remember, and I remember wanting it. And for whatever reason, I didn't get this. Never got this for Christmas. But I remember there was like a purple one and a blue one. It was like the Game Boy
Yeah,
Advance, and I wanted it because I remember drooling over Castlevania. It was Castlevania Circle of the Moon is what I wanted, and then the Mario Advance games, and then of course I never got it for Christmas. Like it was one of those systems that I just didn't get because whatever reason, you don't always get what you want. But
yeah,
I remember the Game Boy Advance, and I remember looking at it and seeing some really cool shit for it.
yeah. I don't remember what games I got it for is, but the main memory I'm pointing out here is my dad got it for me,
Oh,
and
well, it's amazing how, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely incredible how gaming can just bring us together and you can associate a good, warm feeling memory with your video game. Like, I'm the same way. Like, I'll never forget myself. Like, that's how I started playing video games. I would sit there, me and my dad would be sitting there, and I would watch him play, and then I would be player two. I would be Luigi, and I would basically try to emulate his movements on the screen and try to do what he did. And that's how I learned to play video games. And I'll never fucking forget that. It's just a really fond memory. Or me beating Contra with my dad for the first time. We used the 30 lives code. Yeah, we cheated, but still, it felt
my
great.
dad. Yeah, my dad never played video games, but he was just somebody who loved me very much.
Oh, yeah, it seems
I
like
told
seems like a great guy.
he was just a plain simple guy.
Well, plain and simple people are often the best people. I'll tell you. It's the
Yeah,
more
I told him.
the more complex and
I,
complicated we get, the worse we tend to be.
I did tell you he passed away about a few years ago.
You
So
did, yeah. Yeah, and I'm so sorry to hear of that. I haven't had to do that yet, but it's I can't even begin to imagine how I'm going to handle that. I'm very close to both my parents, so yeah, it's not.
I was close. I was closer to him than I am my mother.
I can imagine that was very hard for you.
I've always been a daddy's girl.
Oh, what are some other memories you have of him?
Oh my God, he used to love to go motorcycle riding.
Oh, okay. Wait, did he have a bike?
Oh yes, he had a bunch. He would sell one ever so often to get a different one.
Oh, nice. Okay, so kind of kept up on the hobby too. Helmet or no helmet?
Helmet. He was always one to make sure that I was safe
Safety, yeah.
and made sure I wore a seatbelt in the car and all that.
Right. Now, did this translate into you learning how to ride a bike early? Because a lot of times they say if you have a parent who's on a motorcycle, it translates into early riding of a bike.
I started riding a bike off late.
Late. Okay.
I
Gotcha.
was, I was in my 20s when I started that.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. Let's see. Let's make me feel old. So I'm 37. How old are you now?
33. I just recently turned it back in March.
33. Okay. Well, gosh, at least you're in 30. At least you're in your 30s. Because there's some people I talk to like, oh, I'm like 22. I'm like, ah, like, my bones, I can feel my bones crinkle and crack just at that. Like, they make me feel old. But I'll tell you what, though, it's not as bad. It's really, honestly, not as bad as people say it. People make it out to be. Like I'm getting ready to turn
Yeah,
40, and it's at a certain point it honestly just becomes another year.
yeah. Like my dad passed away when I turned 30.
So it's been
So
three. So been 3 years since his passing.
yeah, see here. He passed away right a couple of months after my birthday.
Well, and the thing that I always, I guess what I'll tell myself when that finally happens is that, a part of them will always live forever in my memories because that's one thing that'll never go away. Like as long as people
Yeah,
remember you and have fond stories to tell about you, and you're never really gone as long as you're remembered, right?
yeah. And I try to look up to him every day.
Oh
I
yeah,
think about him every day.
yeah, and that is one that's one method of immortality is just being just thinking of him like you do. In the because in the end, that's all any of us are is memories. It's at the
Yeah,
end of everything. It's all we are. I
yeah.
feel like.
I'm I'm kind I'm kind of an old soul, like he kind of was.
Oh, old soul. I get called that all the time. Old soul. Yeah. I have people tell me that all the time, which is it's probably because well you would think when I call myself a boomer jokingly, like it's half fucking true. Like if you ever seen the way I do technology or just how simple this show is, like yeah, I don't know how to do hardly shit with technology. I'm technically very shit at it, but that's okay. I still like to come on here and have good conversations, and I feel like you can do it without all that kind of shit. So
I used to be pretty good at technology and stuff, but some of this new stuff that they've got out, I don't have a clue.
yeah, we're entering a brave new world, Brooke, as far as like literally like if you're like for example, Microsoft fires the team behind their hit game. And then like literally like 2 or 3 days later, they're like, oh yeah, we just signed a contract with a generative AI company. And it's like after laying off 6,000 people, it's like, okay. I see what's going on here. But we're really entering a brave new world where I feel like we're making everything simulacrum, and just we're replacing the real with the fake in just about everything we do. And it even seems like it's seeping into our art now. Take a look at like a fucking game like Pal World.
Yeah, I grew up in the age where the internet was just starting to become a thing.
Yeah, I'll never forget like dialing up. Like I had it was 1996. And I'll never forget the first website I visited. We had AOL version like 5.0. And I typed in www, I shit you not, Brooke, www.pokemon.com. And then the other website I visited was www.warplanets.com, which went nowhere. It relinked me to, I think, Hasbro, and from there I was able to get to the War Planets, which was like a popular toy in my school back in the day. First 2 internet searches ever. Do you remember yours?
Wow. Oh gosh. No, I don't really remember it.
Okay, yeah.
I just remember growing up in the world where it was starting to become a thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I do.
Now you can't even live without it.
Yeah, I remember my parents when they got their first computer.
And what they end up getting? Did they go with Mac, or did they go with like an IBM or?
Oh, an old IBM.
IBM,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, and that, I remember that startup screen and how it used to sound.
Yes, yeah. I think my first PC, it was either an IBM or a Pentium, and I forget it. I know that we got it to run Ultima, so we're trying to get it to run Ultima. At the time, it was Ultima 6, which was my first Ultima game. Then later on, I went back and played 4 and 5, and then played 7, and then played 8, and didn't much care for 8. 8 was not great. But then I also got to play Star Control 2 with that same computer.
I didn't play many games like video games on the computer. I played mainly things that taught me to learn, like Jumpstart, whatever, and all that.
Tell me,
Putt.
tell me you at least played Chex Quest.
I don't remember no Chex Quest.
Oh,
that mine game. I remember the mine game that my mom used to play. I remember it. I remember playing it.
okay, yeah. There was some really good. Believe it or not, there were some really good educational games back then. You also had like the "Are You Afraid of the Dark" video game.
Oh, I remember watching the show and stuff like that too.
Dude, "Are You Afraid of the Dark"? I'm actually working on a video, Brooke, that is like a retrospective on "Are You Afraid of the Dark."
Yeah.
I've got a couple of videos, one on that and one on the adventures of Pete and Pete. Which are 2 shows I used to fucking watch. Which Pete and Pete is that's a. By the way, guys, you want to talk about a fucking you want to get your mind fucked? Go watch the Adventures of Pete and Pete, and just tell me if there's another show out there that pound for pound has anywhere close to the level of insanity of the Adventures of Pete and Pete. Maybe Tim and Eric's Awesome Show, Great Job. Maybe.
You probably can't find the show anywhere anymore
I've got it on DVD.
because of all the stream. Oh, you do? I don't. so,
Yeah,
like I said, you probably can't find it anywhere on streaming platforms now.
No. I think it might be on Paramount Plus because they have a lot of the old Nickelodeon shit. But I can tell you for a fact that the Are You Afraid of the Darks I don't have because they're fucking stupid expensive. I mean, stupid expensive.
Yeah, I believe you.
Yeah, they're like $60 a pop for the DVD, and it's standard ass DVD. But it's a good show, and like the good news is you can find a lot of it on YouTube. You can find a lot of the or on Daily Motion, which is the video platform that everybody forgets about is dailymotion.com. There's a lot of pirated shit on there because none of the companies check over there except like once every couple of years.
Yeah.
So you can go to Daily Motion and watch most of Are You Afraid of the Dark. It's the same place I'm watching Tales from the Dark Side, watching that on Daily Motion, and also The Haunting Hour, R.L. Stein's The Haunting Hour, which is a scary show I just found that I love.
Oh, I love Goosebumps.
Yeah, Goosebumps is
Oh my god.
yeah, Goosebumps is great. I have the full set actually on my shelf over here. It's one of the few parts of my childhood I kept.
Let's see here. I read only a few books. I don't remember which ones. It's been so long.
Yeah, Goosebumps. Somebody should give R.L. Stein a Nobel Prize. He got an entire generation of children to read. Everybody says
Oh
J.K.
yes, I
Rowling did it, and she gets her kudos for that, sure. But I think R.L. Stein did it first. I think R.L. Stein is like the progenitor of getting kids to read in the '90s. Like, holy shit, man!
yes, I would. I was one of those kids who loved to read and still do, but I just don't do it very often as much as I used to.
Well, we're strapped
I
for
would go to the
time.
library. I would go to the library a lot.
Yeah, library is great. In fact, there was a library that one of my friends, V, was telling me about, where they literally donated like their $50,000 movie collection to their local library. So at that local library, they literally have access to like just thousands and thousands of film, like an entire library of
Yeah,
just great film. That's such a great idea.
yeah.
Like I really think
I was
I
on.
really like mutual aid and stuff like that. It's something I'm very interested in, kind of slowly putting together here in my own community.
I was also a big Harry Potter fan. Sorry to say.
Oh, no need to be sorry. I mean, it's the the writing to me is, and again, this is me being a literature snob. The writing to me is cliched, but again, give the lady her flowers. She did get an entire generation of kids to read, and I don't
Yes,
care what anybody has to say about it. That's a positive achievement, irregardless of what you may think of the kind of crappy stuff she does nowadays.
I watched every movie and read every single one of the books. I mean,
Well,
I did it.
my girlfriend at the time was a Harry Potter fanatic, and so I shit you not, I think I saw that last movie, The Deathly Hallows Part Two. I ended up seeing that in theaters at least 8 times, at least.
I seen the first part and the second part in theaters. The rest of the movies I seen them either on DVD or TV.
I think they did a good job with the movies.
Yeah.
Overall, I think they did a pretty good job of getting most of it there, like for sure.
Yes.
In terms of
And
adaptations go, you could do a lot worse.
yeah, there's also supposed to be a play on the newer part of Harry's life. I've been also reading on it.
Yeah, and again, I know about that a little bit because again, the ex girlfriend was just a fanatic with Harry Potter, and so it's like it's non canonical. My understanding is, so it's not canon, but yeah, it's the lost child or something like that. Right,
Well, it kind of picks off up where the when you saw the end of part two
right,
movie, it kind of picks up where it left off there.
gotcha.
I've gotten and I've gotten through half of it. I'm not done with it though.
Yeah, any other authors you could recommend as far as like because I'm starting to slowly get into like I just got done reading The Stand by Stephen King because somebody's been on me to read Stephen King forever. And he's pretty good. Pretty good. Not bad.
Um, how big into music are you?
I love music. Now if you're well, there's two answers to that. Can I read music? Absolutely not. But I do love music. I adore music, and I like to think I have a good ear for music.
Okay. I am a huge super fan of Elvis Presley and will read anything on him,
So is my
anything I can get
dad.
my hands on.
So is my dad. What I will do is, my dad, I think, has read every fucking book known to man on Elvis. And there are some really good ones. There's some Last Train to Memphis. Have you read that?
Yes.
Really good.
Well, part of it, not all of it.
Yeah, Last Train to Memphis is really, really good. That's one I can definitely recommend, but you've already read some of it and you're aware of it. I will get with my dad. I'll get a list of books for you and see if he can come up with any that you haven't read yet. Yeah, because my dad,
Uh,
like, he is obsessed with Elvis.
um, Mainly some of the old 60s rock and all that. I just love bands like the Eagles, the
Me too.
Creedence Clearwater, and all of them.
Yeah, it's good
Mainly
stuff.
all the old ones.
Yeah, Led
But
Zeppelin. Yeah, Led
Elvis
Zeppelin.
is my big one.
Trying to think of who else is there. Oh gosh, Pretenders. I mean, there's some really good stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I like all that, and again, I like music from multiple generations. There's a reason why. Literally, I probably spent $2,000 on fucking Rock Band downloadable content back in the day. Holy shit, gosh. Um, but yeah, I do enjoy some music. I definitely, and again, everything from classical all the way up. Now, I'm not much on current music. I'm very boomer brain. So if you were to ask me who like the latest and greatest that all the kiddos are listening to, I couldn't fucking tell you. Like,
Um,
outside of Taylor
I,
Swift, I know she's like eternal. But
yes. I was in big time to Toby Keith, who just recently passed.
oh my god, really?
Yes, I think I
I
can't remember if
didn't
it's been a
know
year or
that.
not. Oh, I went to one of his concerts before he passed.
Oh, holy
He was good.
shit!
It was good. He was in Bowling Green, and I went and seen him.
Wow. Sorry, I'm just in shock. I
I,
didn't know he had passed.
yeah, he died of cancer.
Oh, good.
Sorry, I thought everybody knew about it. Sorry.
I live under a fucking rock apparently, but yeah, I did not know that. But that is very sad to hear because yeah, I'll tell you, country music wise, I've been getting into. I've been playing Fallout New Vegas, which is like literally like a Western game, damn near. And despite the
Yeah.
fact that the copyright holders are cunts and keep copyright striking a channel that doesn't make any money, I don't know how you do that, but okay. Um, the music, like the Marty Robbins, like Big Iron and Five Brothers, and there's some really good fucking old country, man. I'm kind of
Yes.
into now. I'm really into that now. Mama Tried, like Merle
Oh
Haggard,
yeah.
Hank
Oh
Williams
yeah.
Sr., Johnny Cash, Folsom City Prison
Yes.
Blues. I'm really starting to get into like the old country, like the golden age of country now, thanks to Fallout New Vegas.
I kind of remember when Johnny Cash died a little
Oh
bit,
yeah,
but
no,
not
that
very.
was yeah. Did you ever see
Oh,
that
that was.
song? Did you ever see that song "Hurt" he came out with?
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
He's older when he sings it though.
Yes. Oh
Way
my
older.
god, that's heartbroken. That's like that's heartbreaking, man. Like
Yes.
I'll never forget. Like literally, I'm not gonna say I cried because I don't do that, but I'll tell you the onions were very. I was chopping a lot of onions that day, Brooke.
Oh, it depends on how good a real sad song is to get me to cry.
Oh, well, lots of onions. Those goddamn onions, chopping those up. But that's a heartbreaking song. That song is devastating.
And of course, especially his wife June.
June Carter, yeah, yeah, June
Oh my
Carter. There,
God.
there was a classy lady.
Oh yes.
Yeah, June Carter, very
Let's
classy.
see. Alan Jackson. Who
Alan Jackson,
else?
yep, Alan Jackson. My best friend growing up, Jeremy, was an Alan Jackson fanatic, and we actually went and saw a concert when we were like 11 years old, and his parents took us to see Alan Jackson.
Oh,
It was
that's cool.
Alan Jackson and Garth Brooks, I think, were there.
I think Gar's still in. I
Hmm.
think Gar's still in the music business.
Yeah, I think Garth Brooks is there for sure. But
Uh,
yeah, there were some really good classical country acts that like I'm just discovering back and forth, and so can't play New Vegas anymore. So here's the thing. When I played New Vegas, despite the copyright strikes, I was gonna go ahead and just say fuck it, you can strike me, I don't give a fuck because I don't make any money. But then it came to my attention. So V, who was just on the show, that was my last show, said actually what will happen, Zoo, is they'll put ads on your videos even though you're not monetized. And so I
yeah,
have a promise I made to all of my viewers that I would never run ads on my videos. So that's why that stream got deleted. So it's not that I wanted to delete that stream, guys. It's just that it came to my attention that they were running ads on one of my fucking videos, and we don't do ads on Flipping the Switch. We just don't. It's a promise I made in the beginning, and it's a promise I'm going to deliver on. So apparently, even if you're not monetized, if you're not in the YouTube Partner Program, which I am not, apparently, if they copyright strike you, they have the right to run ads on your video and take all the money. And so that's why that video doesn't exist, because I promised you guys no ads.
Yeah.
So just a shame. It's a real shame because, again, Fallout New Vegas, up there with the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind in terms of my favorite games ever. And I wanted to do a full playthrough of that for y'all, and can't do it. Not on YouTube. Not unless I figure out a
I
way
got
to like completely turn off the radios.
I got my music taste from my father. That's a lot to where my music taste came from.
Mm-hmm.
He loved singers like Blondie and people like that.
Blondie's good stuff. Blondie, Rat, good stuff. My dad was always a fan of Rat. Simon and Garfunkel, both my parents loved. Kind of classic
Kiss.
stuff.
What about Kiss?
Oh, Kiss is awesome. Fuck, Kiss on the aesthetics alone is amazing.
Yeah. Let's see who else. I love
Scorpions. Yes,
Tina Turner and what's her name? Cher.
Cher. Yep, Sonny and Cher. Yep. Then of course,
No, just Cher.
Just Cher. Okay.
Just Cher her.
Yeah. Then you got the extreme hair bands. So you got like Poison, and you've got like Extreme. Do you
Kurt Cobain.
play? Now we're getting into the 90s. Yeah, you get Kurt Cobain and Soundgarden, by the way. Everybody always says Nirvana, and yes, but to me, you have to pair Nirvana with Soundgarden, and then of course the Foo Fighters, which kind of came after.
And then
David Grohl, one of the coolest modern musicians.
And Michael Jackson, who died back in 2009.
Well, Michael Jackson.
His music.
Michael Jackson's just one of the greatest performers to ever live. Just period.
Yes.
Just what a
you
talent.
did know that. You did know that his death overshadowed Farrah Fawcett's death, right?
Oh yeah, Joe Jackson. Like, yeah, the Jackson dad was apparently kind of a piece of shit. Again, I don't know the guy, but the stories are pretty awful.
Yeah. From when you hear it from Michael, he says he whooped him and did all this and that.
Yeah, yeah. So again, who knows the truth? But yeah, he seems like a pretty shitty guy for sure.
Well, he's been gone for a while too.
Yeah.
But,
and then yeah, Farrah Fawcett was also like at the same time. I was on vacation when that news broke, and like yeah, Farrah Fawcett and Michael Jackson. I was in Orange Beach, Alabama, when I heard the news on that, and I'm just like, holy shit, we lost like Michael Jackson, and then immediately lost Farrah Fawcett right after.
Oh yes. Let's see. I was a senior in high school when all this was going on.
Yeah, it was wild. That was a hell of a doozy. Of course, Farrah Fawcett was just Charlie's Angels, right?
Yes, she was.
All-time classic show.
Yes, I've seen those episodes. They're good.
No, that's a classic show. That was kind of the time for TV.
Yes.
Like, say what you will,
Especially
Sopranos and Breaking Bad are great, but my favorite show of all time will always actually be. People are gonna say I'm a hack, but The Twilight Zone. Amazing writing. Amazing show.
Yeah, I've seen the whole Twilight Zone seasons and all that. Let's see, Dukes of Hazzard. I used to love that.
Dukes of Hazzard is classic.
Dumbasses had to,
I think you broke
up there.
I think you broke up there. What were you saying?
I said a bunch of dumbasses had to go and cancel that because of some rebel flag on the hood of the car.
Oh, and see, now I'm gonna hit the other side a little bit. I'm gonna beat them up a little bit. So, in terms of the General Lee, which was a car, like,
yeah,
it's just the design of the fucking car, guys. Like, it's just the
Yeah.
design of the fucking car. I don't think they were trying to make some fucking political statement with that. I think they were just it was a Southern cop duo at a time when that wasn't a big deal, and I think that's what happened. And again, that's what I mean by I fucking there's two sides I can't stand, and it's the cancel culture people, and it's the anti-cancel culture people that just react so strongly to it. And I just feel like the two fucking people deserve each other, man. But meanwhile,
Yeah.
they're ruining everything for all of us. Like their fucking weird culture wars just fucking everything up.
Like I said in recent streams, I'm not a political person. I'm
No,
usually
I
not
mean,
a political person.
I'm anti-politics in general, and what I mean by that is like anarchist principles by their nature are anti-politics. Now, what's important to remember is just because I don't care doesn't mean politics doesn't care about us. But
Yeah.
basically my thing is, and this is what I tell people, I am going to live like I'm free until someone stops me. Because
Yeah.
I'm a good person and I don't want to go out of my way to hurt people. That means that I'm just going to do the things that I love to do and not infringe on other people. That's kind of my ethos. But in terms of is something illegal, is it not illegal? Is it against the law to do the thing that I'm doing? Is it not against the law? I don't really give a shit about any of that. If I'm not hurting
Yeah.
other people, I'm going to go ahead and do whatever the fuck I want anyway because I understand that the police don't ever clear cases anyway. If you want to really kind of scare yourself, go look up the police clearance rate for just about anything. For murder, it's under 50%. Did you know that, Brooke?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep, the
My
police.
my
Police.
dad
Yeah,
was my dad was pretty big on his opinion about politics because of the he watched the news every night about
yeah. They're all
every
a
night at
bunch of
5:30.
they're all a bunch of criminals. But again, that's the thing. They're just so when you tell me, oh, well, you can't go 50 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone. My response is, okay, stop me then. I know what safe driving is. I'm not gonna if I'm in a neighborhood, I won't be driving fast because I don't want to kill a kid. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But I know what safe driving is. So my thing is stop me if you want to stop me if you can, but you can't because you can't even clear murder and rape cases. Like it's like 16% of rape cases are cleared or 30% of murder cases are cleared. And don't even get me started on fucking theft. Like, oh, you can put a police report in and oh, someone stole my shit and the police show up, they write some shit down, they shrug and they leave, and you never see your shit again. So you
Yeah.
guys can't clear crimes anyway. So why am I going to let the potential for you to write me a ticket deter my behavior? And the answer is I'm not, and neither should anybody else. Unless you are a murderer or some psychopath, then yeah, don't do that, stupid. Like that would be my thing. Like, yeah, don't hurt people. Be nice. Don't go out of your way to hurt people, but you should enjoy yourself and you should worry about the law secondary. It's just my opinion. And again, it is an
Yeah.
opinion, guys, but I'm just not interested in the law because keep in mind what is the law and what is against the law and what is the moral and right thing to do are often at odds. There was a time when slavery was the law of the land. Slavery was never right. It was never moral, but it was the law of the land at one time. So don't confuse morality and the law would be my advice to everybody. Like just act in a moral fashion and don't worry about so much about the law because they can't stop you anyway. Like literally, they can't.
Unless they kill you.
Yeah, and again, that is the risk I take as someone who doesn't give a shit about the law. Like, um, but again, I don't feel like I'm going to put myself in a position. If you're going to shoot me for not wearing my seatbelt, it's just my time to go, man. Like, if
Yeah.
you're really going to shoot me for that, like that's the kind of right. Everybody, I don't want people to get shit twisted. Like, oh, Zoo sounds like a rebel. No, when Zoo talks about being a rebel, I'm talking about like not wearing a fucking seatbelt. Talking about maybe doing 5 or 10 miles over the speed limit. I'm not some lawbreaker by nature. I'm just making the point that I am far less interested in the law, and I'm way more interested in acting like a moral person. you know.
As long as I don't have to vote for some stupid idiot like Trump, then I'm good.
Yeah, no, I mean,
You know.
yeah, voting is an inherently violent act anyway. So yeah, we shouldn't do that if we can avoid it. Like just
I've voted most of my life. It's been something I've done since I was 18. But when it comes to
yeah,
somebody like him,
how's that gone for you?
so far,
I was gonna say,
when
look out your window. Not great, right?
yeah,
So, but
I've seen.
that's my point. So here's kind of here's a hot take on voting. Okay, since we're on the subject. So when you vote, what are you voting on? You're voting based on this is how I think the world should look, right?
Yeah, I want somebody who's not going to be using Twitter behind the president's desk
Sure, sure,
24/7.
sure. So you decide, okay, this is the way I want the world to look, so I'm going to vote for X. Number one, they're not going to do what they say anyway. Number
Hmm.
two, even if they do exactly as you want them to do, what you're really doing is you're forcing you are forcing law to inhabit your mental framework, which means that
Hmm.
other people who don't agree with you are now subject to the law as you see it. And as an anarchist person, my thinking on that is to say, well, it's not my right. It's not my right to force anybody to live how I think. So by voting for these politicians to not get a real job, because that's what politics is people who don't want to get a real job, by voting these people who don't want to work in and to put my laws in place, I am curtailing the rights of my fellow human beings. So that's why I don't vote.
Yeah,
I don't vote because it's not my place to tell other people how to behave.
I
And
vote
that's
because I mean I mainly vote because it's my patriotic right.
sure. And there's something to be said about that. And I would never tell someone they're wrong. A lot of people fought and died for that right to vote, right? So
Yes,
naturally they want you to do it. And here's the thing: if you're not an anarchical thinker, then pay no attention to what I say. This is only valid from an anarchist framework. If you don't have that, if you have a liberal framework or a conservative framework, or God forbid, even a fascist framework, which I hope you don't, but and I don't think you do. I'm not saying you, but just people out there in general, you're not going to share
hmm
my framework anyway. And so, yeah, at that point, from that perspective, from any of those other perspectives, voting is vital. But I just don't share that.
yes,
I just don't share the perspective that I think that I think there's better ways to do this thing than voting if we were to have more local communities and if we were to talk to each other more. I just don't feel like we need the force of a gun to make these things work and function, except that we've got these large scale societies that have surpassed Dunbar's number. They've surpassed Ashby's law of requisite variety. And so when you have 350 million people under one set of laws, the only real way to control that many people is with violent force. And so that's why we have voting, which leads to laws, which leads to men with guns to enforce those laws. I think if you shrunk it down, like in my local community of Springfield, I feel like I know my neighbors, I know the people that live across the street well enough. I feel like we can kind of negotiate those issues between ourselves with individual contracts, and we don't necessarily need those larger laws. It's only when you get society to a certain when you scale up to a certain effect that you start to need laws. And so I guess my goal is like there's got to be a way for us to not do that and maybe keep things more localized and smaller and more intimate, and thereby avoiding some of the violence that comes with the law, you know.
yes.
But again, what do I know? I'm just a drunk ghost on that plays video games. So again, this should all be taken with a grain of salt, folks. Ah, but yeah, just the less you vote for these dummies in general, the better. Like it floors me that I'm looking at these two, and it's like this is a country of 350 million people. These two are the best we got. I don't believe it. I don't believe you guys. I just don't believe you guys. Like, find me some fucking good people, and maybe I would consider voting.
I would take Obama back if I could.
I mean, I think it's better than what we got. But keep in mind, we expanded. I think we went from 2 wars to, didn't we go from like 2 wars to 7 under him? Didn't his first act was to bail out Wall Street and bail out the car companies and not bail out homeowners? There's a lot. There's a lot wrong with him too. But yeah, he's certainly better than the two shitheads we have now.
Yeah, and he's the one that went in and killed what's his name over there.
Well, I mean, yeah, one less piece of shit on the street killed Bin Laden. That's cool. Like that's a plus.
Yeah, especially
Yeah, fuck
with
that guy.
what happened on 9/11.
Yeah, fuck him. Like
That's
yeah, no,
to tell you the
that's
truth.
a win.
I'm still traumatized from seeing that on TV that day.
Dude, I'll never forget where I was, man. I was in high school. It was freshman year of high school. So now I really feel old, guys. Freshman year of high school, I was in math class, Mr. Bryan's math class, and it came over the intercom that we needed to turn the television on for all teachers. You need to turn this on, and we sat there and we watched it. We watched the first tower get hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we went, we bell rang and we went to class, and then the TV was on, and then it became announced that we had a second plane hit, and that's when we kind of knew this was not good, for sure.
Yeah,
that was a
in
scary
5th grade.
day. You were 5th grade. Now, did they turn that on in the 5th graders as well?
Yes, but here's the thing. I remember the teachers whispering in the background of about if to turn it on or not, and they'd gotten an email and all this crap. But they finally turned it on and let us all see. And by the time they turned it on, I seen people jumping off the building.
Yeah, that was. I can imagine being in 5th grade and seeing that. Yeah, it was. I remember being just stunned, like, holy shit, are we really? This is really happening, huh? We're really under attack right now.
I was 10 years old.
Yeah, shit, it was scary enough at 15. I can imagine being 10 and watching this
shit. Oh
yeah. So killing that guy, I'm gonna give Obama a rare nod in a cent for that. That's like, okay, cool.
I was awake that night that he announced that they had killed him. I was awake and I was cheering. I was like, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, no, anybody that butchers 3,000 people like that, like, yeah, at that point, again, I'm not a violent sort, but I feel like you forfeit your life if you do that much damage to people who literally did nothing to you. Like, yeah.
It's like you attacked my country, we're coming for you.
Yeah, and I'm glad they got him, for sure. 100% glad they got that guy. That was a good thing, for sure.
Can I tell you something? There was a time when they nearly had him in the early 90s.
Yeah, they fucked up several times with that guy, is my understanding. I was watching a documentary, and yeah, they had him in the 90s, where I think it was under Clinton they could have got him, and then under Bush they had him like kind of in a cave somewhere, and then they ended up not pursuing him. So there was a couple of times, at least twice, they had him dead to rights, and they chose not to.
And finally, Obama went in there and got him.
No, that's a good point. That is definitely a positive. And again, if you're gonna be in office, at least do something positive for somebody. And I feel like if you were one of the thousands and thousands of family members who that guy altered their life, I feel like that's you probably feel pretty good about that act at the very least, for sure.
That's what got him his second election reinstated.
Is that what did it? Because again, I don't pay a lot of attention to this. Did that happen before the next election? Because I also feel like part of it was that didn't he run against Mitt Romney? Like,
I can't remember who he ran against.
I think it was Mitt Romney, and he was not impressive, if I remember him right.
But it was 2012.
Yeah.
I can tell you it was either 2012 or 2011 when they went in and got
Yeah, let me see
Bin
here because
Laden.
I'm kind of curious myself now.
From what I remember, that's what got him
Yeah,
reelected.
Bin Laden death. Yeah, you're right. 2011.
I
Yep,
couldn't
right
remember
before.
which date exactly.
Yeah, it was 2000. Yeah, I didn't find the date, but it's definitely 2011. And yeah, they murked that fucking guy. Right before the
I
election.
think
That's exactly what happened.
it was in May
Yeah,
or
yeah,
April or
right in
something
the
like
lead
that.
up. So yeah, gee, I wonder if that timing was deliberate. Anyway, I'm not gonna say that. I don't have evidence of that, but
I remember them showing like the situation room where they were all sitting around the TV
yeah, it was
and
definitely
whatever.
it was definitely a historical moment for sure.
Because you could see like Hillary there, you could see Obama there, and a bunch of people
Yeah.
just
Oh
watching
yeah,
this whole.
yeah. Hillary was part of that, wasn't she? Was part of that admin, wasn't she?
Yes,
Yeah, I remember that now. Okay. Alrighty.
and then you had crooked Hillary, Trump calling her crooked Hillary and all this and crap.
Well, which to be fair is true, but again, he's the wrong messenger for that. I feel like that's kind of projection at that point because it's like you're calling somebody crooked, but you're a crooked ass too. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're both fucking crooked. Like,
Yeah,
like calling a politician crooked is not. I mean, it stuck to be fair. And one thing I will say about Trump is, like I talked about on the show last time it came up, is the guy's messaging was his branding and messaging was on fucking point for sure. It was effective, but it never really worked on me because I'm just like, isn't crooked the prerequisite of what y'all are doing? Like,
yeah,
would
that's
that
my point.
yeah, wouldn't that be you too? Mr. Mobbed Up in the 80s? Like, I'll never forget that guy was
Yeah,
fucking mobbed up to his ass in the 80s. That dude that's just check it out. Like, check out his mob connections in the 80s. There's some crazy shit on that guy to go well beyond what everybody talks about. Like, yeah, that
and
dude's
if
got
you
some wild past.
think about it, all the '80s, that's where everybody was rich and all that crap.
Oh yeah, the 80s was I barely missed the 80s. I was born in 86, which I also like to say I was born. The Bears win the suit. Check this out, Brooke. The Bears win the fucking Super Bowl in 1985, right? And then
Hmm.
here comes my little ass, and ever since I was born, I have never gotten a Bears victory in a Super Bowl. I feel like it's almost something I did. You know, but I know that's silly, but it just feels like, did I do something wrong by being born? Because my Bears haven't been able to win a fucking Super Bowl since, man.
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck? Like, so
I've always
so I
I've
missed.
always been able to pick a winner in that.
Oh, you got a pretty good guess rate on that.
I think it's more like luck.
Who did you have in this last one? Did you have the Niners or the trying to think of who played? If the Bears aren't playing, I don't really care. I just watch for the commercials. But I think we had the 49ers and the Chiefs, I think is who it was. Yeah.
Crap, I can't remember who I even.
No, it's the same thing. If the Bears aren't playing, I have a limited consciousness as to like the halftime show was good, but I'll be damned if I can tell you who was on the halftime show. Also, I can't remember now.
Yeah,
Holy shit! I don't remember anything about the last Super Bowl except the Arnold Schwarzenegger commercial. Like, I remember him
Hmm.
not being able to pronounce State Farm. State Farm.
Oh, yeah, they still do run that one.
That's great. That's a great commercial. Like,
Yeah,
that's a good.
but I think it's stupid of them to make him do it like that.
Yeah, like literally, you're just making fun. The guy can't pronounce the word. What do you? It's mean. He can't do it.
If he can't do it, leave him alone.
Right?
You know.
Yeah. Like man, they're just brutalizing my man. Which Arnold is another. Like,
Mhm.
Arnold's a great figure. I've still got his book Pumping Iron. Like, And it's amazing because people often think about Arnold from his acting career, and a lot of people talk about his bodybuilding. But I feel like Arnold is like tragically actually underrated, believe it or not. That guy invented muscle building exercises that are still used today. Like literally invented
Yes.
those exercises.
He used to be governor of California at
Yeah.
one point.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a fucking guy that's done it all, right? Bodybuilding world champion, um, fucking governor, movie star. About the only thing he hasn't done is put out a fucking rock album. That's about the only thing he hasn't done.
I don't think he can sing.
I would still pay to have an Arnold Schwarzenegger country music album. I would pay.
Only if he could sing, I'd buy
Yeah,
it.
can we make that happen just for the spectacle of it? But again, that's kind of doing what you talked about, which is like, nah, you're just making fun at that point because you know he
Yeah.
can.
It's gonna come out all mush mouth or whatever, you
Right.
know.
It's still a funny. It's still a funny image, though. Oh goodness. So Chill Collect says Near Automata, such a good port. He says. Yeah, I hear that, and Near Automata is on the list. I promise, guys. That's one I'm gonna be playing. Um, but oh god, a backlog from hell. But yeah, Near Automata is one of those third party, just classic ones. And then he says he meant loops, so Fruit Loops versus Fruit Loop, so singular versus plural. You have to look at that one. I haven't seen that particular one, but it wouldn't surprise me. So C's Arcade says, "What's up, Zoo? What's up, Brooke? Gotta catch this on my commute, but sending my peeps on the podcast and in the chat, love." Yeah, Caesar, thanks for stopping by, man. Um, if you got new videos coming out, like I finally got some time this weekend, looking forward to catching up on everybody. I know I saw Rad Bash has one out, and so does um, Belmont. Apparently has kind of a controversial one because he says the Silent Hill 2 game looks good. So I really would like to get Belmont on the show to explain to me what the fuck he's talking about because I think the Silent Hill 2 remake is going to be terrible. But I'm a pessimist at heart. I'm a glass half empty kind of guy, as anyone will tell you. So I don't know. Maybe Belmont's right, and it would sure be cool if there was another take on Silent Hill 2. Now that said, Caesar, what I would tell you is I think Brandon made a pretty compelling argument the other night when we were on the show when he said that the existence of the new Silent Hill game, because he also thinks it looks pretty good, doesn't negate the old game. And that's true. I'll always have the old game. So even if the new game sucks, that old game will still be there, right? But I don't know. What do you think, Britt?
Yeah, it'll probably still be there. I've never played the original.
I hadn't either until very, very recently, but oh, it's good. Oh, it's really, really
But
good.
they, from what I've seen, there wasn't very many real good games in the state of play or whatever.
No, yeah. State of play was it was painful. It was again. I feel like
Yeah,
Sony lost in the wilderness. Like that continues for sure.
yeah, and of course the only good game that I seen was that Astrobot.
Astrobot looks lit. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm pretty happy for Sony fans that they're getting at least one what appears to be a really quality title. Because Astro Boy's Playroom
Yeah,
was really fun. I remember playing around with that on my brother-in-law's PS5.
yeah, I remember when I first got mine. I remember playing around with that too.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So the Street Fighter 6 DLC characters were awesome, Show Collect says. Also some Sonic X Shadow news as well as DBZ Sparking Zero release date and the collector, which yeah, I mean those are all good stuff. Like I'm not going to take that away from it, but in terms of like keep in mind that what is this a replacement for, Chill? It's a replacement for E3. And in that regard, I feel like we've really been let down so far based on what I looked at. Like you would never highlight an E3 show for Sony or Microsoft with Sonic's X Shadow. Never, or DBZ Sparking Zero, or even Street Fighter 6 downloadable content characters. That would at least make the show unlike the other two. But yeah, come on, like that. Like, where is the marquee game? Where the fuck is the marquee Sony and Microsoft games at? Do they even exist? Like, I know it's a light year for Nintendo, but goddamn, like, I feel like if this was the year where Sony and Microsoft could finally outshine Nintendo, it's when it's literally on its fucking life support machine in its last year. But nope, apparently not. And Nintendo's still gonna win.
Yes. It's mostly the number one company and most
Unbelievable.
rich
It is.
kids.
Yeah, it absolutely does. So Chill says collector's edition for Sparking Zero, I might have to get. Yeah, anytime there's a nice collector's edition, especially for like a Dragon Ball game, because I love Dragon Ball Z. Like, I love me some DBZ. Yeah, I could see why there would be interest in that for sure. So Scorpio says, so Caesar says, easy to see why Nintendo wanted no part in Summer's Game Fest. They didn't want to be associated with Keeley Boy's summer show of mid. Yeah, it's pretty mid show. Plus, not to mention, Nintendo just has always done their own thing. Even during E3, ever since they went to like the Iwata Asks and the Nintendo Directs, they'll do a direct during E3, but it's completely separate from E3 during kind of the similar time period for sure. And then Chill Collect says, lol, laugh out loud. Lol, Lamau even. Keith SLG says, my dad never learned how to read music, but could pick up any musical instrument and play it. Yeah, that's like a form of genius there, Keithius. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's just having a perfect ear for music. That's really, really nice stuff. And then yeah, February 5th, Toby Keithius says. So yeah, it was February Toby Keith when he passed. Damn. Yeah, that's crazy. So Mike Clark says it might be good but look bad. It's true, like you can play well and just look bad. Slitherhead looks better than Silent Hill 2 remake. Well, I said that. I haven't seen the new trailer for the new Slitherhead. I did see the original trailer, and when I saw it had the original Silent Hill monster maker working on Slitherhead. I said that's one to watch, and that was like 2 years ago when it first popped up at like the video game awards show or whatever. So yeah, I mean, Slitherhead's definitely one to watch just because of the fucking talent involved with it. Alrighty, so I think that's all the questions I had. Did you have any questions for me, Brooke?
Did you play a instrument as a kid?
I tried to learn piano, but it didn't end up taking. Yeah, it was one of the many, many things that my parents kind of rotated and cycled me through, and nothing really stuck. In terms of music, but they tried that like good parents. They tried to get me to learn an instrument because it literally will enhance your life. Being able to read music is like being bilingual. Honestly, it's like it's a whole other language of sounds and melody and rhythm that opens up to you. But I never took to it, sadly, and I think it is a lost opportunity. I think I should have tried harder. It is a regret I have.
Oh, I really took to it when I was a kid, but we ended up moving, so I ended up stopping my piano lessons.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's very time consuming. It's like any kind of skill worth having. It's a time consuming thing, but it's certainly something that I would tell anybody. Like, hey, if you have an opportunity to learn music, to learn to read music, and even if you don't learn to play an instrument, at least learn to read music, the language of music. It'll open up so much more. I've often said, I think I've said it on this very show before, that I envy people who walk through life and can hear the world as a musician hears the world. I'm sure that they hear a very different world than I hear.
Yeah, the best musical instrument I've got would be my singing voice.
Oh, you're a good singer.
Well, when it comes to following live singers or background singers or something like that,
Okay.
that's as good as it gets.
Gotcha. I was gonna say, do you want to sing us a little song here on air, or do you not want to do that?
No, I don't want to embarrass
That's
myself.
totally fair. I totally get that. You heard the disaster when I tried to fucking sing a couple times on this very show. Couldn't carry a tune in a wheelbarrow, as my dad would say. All right. So, any other questions for me?
No, I think that's good.
Sounds good. Well, Brooke, I got to tell you, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll have to get you on here again for sure. That being said, I just had one last question for you, and that's, hey, Brooke, did you have fun?
I loved it.
Awesome.
Loved it.
Well, we will definitely do this again, and don't be a stranger in the bar, because again, you've been welcome to that mysterious bar that that is a barely operating Discord, but that's okay. That's okay. It's there if anybody ever needs to communicate with me, and that's what it's there for. So, yeah, you can always communicate there, and then we will definitely plan to get you on here sometime soon again for sure.
Oh, you're a Morrowind stream. Any updates on it?
Marwin Street, yeah. So I talked to the guys at TR. They are looking for a late summer release on, and that's what I'm kind of waiting on because what's going on right now is they're updating the code on the game, and so everything I've played will be completely screwed up if I play it now. Because they're getting ready to release is they're going to release. Did you ever play the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion?
I don't think so.
Okay, so, yeah, just trying to give you some context for what they're adding. So, the next update of Tamriel Rebuilt is going to be actually not in Morrowind at all. They're adding a chunk of Cyrodiil, which is the country you visit in the fourth Elder Scrolls game. And they're adding the entire Abekian shores, which consists of Anvil, the city of Anvil, the port, the island of Shirok. But it's going to take us for the first time out of Morrowind into a large chunk of another country in the Elder Scrolls world, complete with over 100 quests. And so when that comes out, we're going to do a run with, we're going to do a Cyrodiil run. So we're going to go immediately to Cyrodiil and we're going to check that out. So they told me late July, early August is what they're shooting for. So here in a couple months is what I'm expecting.
Sounds cool.
And then we're gonna try like hell to finally do that full 1,000-hour playthrough that I've teased and promised for a long time. But it's just it's every time what ends up happening is I'll get started and then they'll go to update and I'll be like, damn it. And I'm going to finally have to just bite the bullet and make a character and play the damn game because if I keep waiting for the game to be fully updated, it's always going to fucking happen. Because they're already talking about the next release is early 2025 or holiday 2024, and that's the Grasping Fortune release, and that's going to it's going to go to the south of where the current map is, and it's going to give us the city of Narcissus, and that's another fucking update, and another character that's just blown. So what I'm going to have to do is I think as soon as Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil releases, the Abekian Shores, I'm going to say, okay, no more updates until I finish this character, and then that'll let us play fully through. And I'll try to play once a night for at least an hour when I'm not doing a liquored up. Is kind of the plan. So just there, I've just put you in my fucked up headspace a little bit as far as what the problem, like what is the problem with the Morrowind streams? It's that they're always updating shit, and I'm like a dog chasing cars, Brooke. Every time they update that game, I've got to add it in, and then that breaks the character. That character can't be played anymore because when they change what they change, they also go in and they update all the other areas, so it makes it incompatible. Is what the modders do.
Okay.
So that's why that happens. I just want to let everybody know that that's why that occurs. And that's why those just suddenly stop and you'll be like, oh, I've been enjoying this. And then, oh, it's gone. Yeah, it's because I'm fucking stupid and I'm a dog chasing cars and I can't help myself from updating to the latest Tamriel rebuild. And that breaks the character I had because the world he inhabits is now all fucked up and jumbled up. So we're gonna solve that by I'm putting a hard stop on the next update. The next update comes out, that's done. See whatever they've got cooking on the books. I'll see Grasping Fortune and I'll see Poison Song. See y'all in 2 or 3 years. Because it's going to take me 3 years to get through. Like, the game is massive. You've seen that map. It's fucking huge. Like, that's like a 2-year Let's Play project. But
All
there's
right.
not.
Thanks
But
for having me on.
oh, there's nothing like Morrowind though. There's nothing like that game. But yeah, no problem. And I thank you for coming on. And we'll definitely have you on again. And we'll make this a regular thing. Like I said, I typically cycle guests about every 2 to 3 months. So yeah, we'll definitely have you back on if you're willing.
All right.
All
Thanks.
right.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, not too much. If you want to stay on here, I'll kind of talk with you a little bit in the after show. Got a couple more comments that have populated, so we'll read those. Then we'll kick this bunch of mugs the fuck out of here, and we'll just have some after show for a little bit. Mike Clark says Xbox show will be fire again, but will the games be okay? And then is Summerfest over? Nothing tomorrow? That sounds weird. I hope not. That's really fucked up if that's all it is, because they don't have.
There's a wholesome direct.
Oh, it's the Wholesome Direct tomorrow, which might actually be more exciting, believe it or not, because that's indie games. So the indie games, so the Wholesome Direct is today. Summer Games Fest is over. Yeah, it looks like the Wholesome Direct is tomorrow, which I like indie games, so I'll be tuning in for that. I'm probably more excited for that than I am the Summer Games Fest. And then Keithius LG says, great show. Thank you so much. No, we appreciate that. So, all right, guys. Well, you guys go enjoy your weekend. I love you all. We're going to go ahead and end the show here. And love you all. Get the fuck out of here.